everyone, it's Beth. So tonight I just wanted to talk about some things that are going on in the cryptoverse right now. First, let's start over here at Coin Market Cap, where we can see that the current market cap in the cryptoverse is $135.9 billion. There has been $2.5 billion worth of trading that has taken place in the last 24 hours, and Bitcoin dominance is 47.7%, which is down about 1% in the last week or so, as we've seen more influx into altcoins. There is news out of South Korea that they will be adding, there's going to be an exchange adding, I think it was 110 new altcoins to the exchange. So that'll be great volume added to the altcoin markets, which is great for people who are, trading different altcoins, for instance, with the gunbot, like I am. So I'm really excited about that. Okay. So Bitcoin is kind of flat right now, but it did have a nice breakout above the, I think it's above the 20-day moving average. So, but in any case, it broke the bear trend and is looking a little bit more bullish. You can see that right over here. And now we're consolidating, just kind of moving sideways, which is totally fine with me. I'm really happy with where Bitcoin is right now. And Ethereum is also consolidating and has been trying to get back over that $300 mark. Bitcoin Cash is pretty flat. It really hasn't seen a rebound, the same rebound that we've seen with Bitcoin and Ethereum. So I don't know, is that a buying opportunity for Bitcoin Cash? You be the judge. And let's see, Litecoins came back up, but now it's also consolidating. So $51.71 for Litecoin today. And we can see that's pretty much the trend with everything in the market. We've had a nice bounce and now we're consolidating. So I'm really happy with that. I think that is a great place for the cryptoverse right now. So I'll take it. Okay. So let's move on over to a couple news stories that caught my attention today. The first one is, the headline is Mario Draghi says the European Central Bank has, quote, no power to regulate Bitcoin. The article here, courtesy of CoinDesk, it talks about Mario Draghi. He's the president of the European Central Bank, or the ECB, and he has said that his institution does not have the authority to regulate cryptocurrencies. And he made this statement to the European Parliament's Committee on Economic and Monetary Affairs, and he said that it would actually not be in our powers to prohibit and regulate Bitcoin and other digital currencies. He basically concludes this by saying, while the ECB doesn't have the regulatory powers to regulate cryptocurrency, he also is criticizing the proposed Estonia initiative that would launch a national crypto coin called Estcoin, reportedly stating, quote, I will comment on the Estonian decision. No member state can introduce its own currency. The currency of the Eurozone is the euro. So clearly, I mean, this is another case of big centralized banking powers they don't want cryptocurrency because that's not good for their bottom line. So, this is the important thing here is that he's talking about cryptocurrency, and just it's more and more and more in the mainstream news. And that is what is so interesting to me. I mean, as I was searching through the headlines today, there were a lot of, mainstream cryptocurrency news stories. And that is just really great movement in the crypto space. So I'm pretty excited about all of that. there was, this article does continue on that the central bank's vice president, Victor Constancio, last week said that cryptocurrencies are merely speculative and compared them to tulip mania. So, yeah, and he says that he doesn't see the technology as a, quote, threat to central bank policy, but I still maintain he's talking about it. He realizes that this is, if they didn't think that this was something that was going to continue on, they wouldn't bother to talk about it. So that's very encouraging to me. Moving on, in more governmental news, Jesse Ventura moderated a Colorado gubernatorial debate and was asking the candidates about cryptocurrency. And both of the candidates who participated in the debate, Democrat Eric Underwood and Republican Lou Gator, both spoke about privacy, voting, and issues facing the Colorado cannabis industry. And the candidates were both in favor of a Colorado cryptocurrency that would help tie the cannabis industry in, that way they can better keep track of the tax revenue that's coming in from the cannabis industry in Colorado. So, and I will say there's a quote here that one of the candidates even said, Underwood said that, quote, "We do what's best for Coloradans. And to answer Governor Ventura's question, we will go to court if necessary." And that was in response to, you know, what would the stance be if they got federal government pushback on having cryptocurrency in Colorado? And the candidates were very adamant that there needs to be a place for cryptocurrency in Colorado. So I think, once again, just like the last story, here we are, and governments just cannot ignore crypto at this point, and that's great. So I'm really excited by that. I guess the SEC also just launched a cyber unit, so they will be looking into especially ICOs and whether or not they are securities. So, you know, I do think that there is regulation coming. I'm not necessarily in support of that regulation. You know, I think that, especially for me, the draw of cryptocurrency is to move away from centralization, mostly central banks and fiat dollars, and the ability of monetary policy just to be created out of thin air. You know, cryptocurrencies are governed by math and not the whims of the people, the bankers who happen to be creating monetary policy over at the Federal Reserve, which incidentally is not federal at all. This is just private bankers who get to dictate monetary policy. Okay, I'm going to move on from that before I get myself all worked up. Okay, so the next story, and I watched this video of this interview. It was very, very interesting. And this gentleman, who is Mike Novogratz, he was talking about Bitcoin and Ethereum and cryptocurrency, and he was saying that you know, cryptocurrency is in a bubble, but he says this bubble is going to continue to go up and up and up, and will be quite overvalued. And he thinks that there is a lot of money to be made by traders who know how to read the macro indicators and help to tell the story of the chart. That was what he said in the interview, and it was very, very interesting. But he is supposed to be putting in $150 million of his own money, and is expected to raise $350 million from outside sources for a cryptocurrency hedge fund. So that is very interesting stuff too. The theme of today is cryptocurrency in the mainstream, and these were just 3 stories. Honestly, I could have probably picked 10 more that really talked about cryptocurrency making it into the mainstream, and I'm really excited by it. I think so. There are people who say that regulation in Bitcoin is the end of the beginning of Bitcoin. And that rings very true to me. While I don't think that Bitcoin really should be regulated, I do see that it's probably an inevitability. So, I don't know. I was reading an article recently that said, it was a former head of the CFTC under President Obama. And he had actually recommended to Obama that, that there be a government task force that looks into cryptocurrency. And his advice to investors in the cryptocurrency space is not to wait for regulation to come down from the top, but rather to reach out and try to come to an amicable resolution with government officials on how regulation should be handled within the crypto space. An interesting concept. I don't know. What do you guys think? Are we fooling ourselves into thinking that we can avoid regulation, or is it not feasible for governments to actually be able to regulate Bitcoin and cryptocurrency because it is such a decentralized space? So please tell me what you think. Leave questions and comments in the comments section. And if you like the video, please go ahead and hit the like button. And if you would like to see more from me, please do subscribe. I thank you so much for your time tonight. And I'll see you next time.